Claire Turnbull from Mission Nutrition,
Yes.
who was a very good sport and very good at this, has come in and you've brought... I'm a little bit embarrassed. I had no idea how much sodium is in some of these ready-made sauces, right? Pre-made sauces.
Yeah, I mean, pasta is very, very popular. It's cheap. It's a really quick and easy dinner and something to put on the table for the family.
Kids love it.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
It's really being aware of what you buy. So in the sauce department, the biggest thing to be mindful of is the sodium, because it is literally crazy. So something like this kind of pasta-based sauce here has got 3 times more salt than this canned variety here, which you wouldn't even know from looking at them. They don't look any different.
I just want you to do a valuable social service. What am I looking for here? Down the bottom, sodium, right?
Yes, so sodium. So as an adult, we want to be having less than 2,000 milligrams a day. And as a child, a little kid, less than 1,000. And then between a little kid and an adult, it's somewhere kind of in between.
So if this one says per serving 590 mgs.
Yes, and that's in a quarter of the jar. And a lot of people would actually have more than a quarter of the jar. So if you're looking at the serving, you do actually need to think, is that actually relevant to how much I'd actually have? So the relevance of that, for example, is that's one of the highest sodium ones on the market. When you match that with fresh pasta, now fresh pasta is actually quite high in sodium, and it depends on what you buy. This one's got 1.5 times more than that one. Have that there with a little bit of cheese on. That's half a packet. That is roughly about as much sodium as an adult can have in a whole day in one meal. And for a child, obviously, significantly more. And I know a lot of children, my 2-year-old could nail that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you've got a teenager who's a little bit like, but is quite happy to boil some pasta and just eat it, then they're going to eat an enormous amount of that stuff, aren't they?
They are. So it's not about saying you don't have it. It's just saying that some of these pastas, look at the back, look at the sodium, because you can get ones that are 1.5 times higher in salt than the others. And with pasta sauces, one of the things, I know it makes it quick and convenient. Buy 2 cans of tomatoes, check for the back of the label, because even canned tomatoes that don't say it on the front can have salt in them. Okay, so look at the can of tomatoes, make sure it's got no salt, and mix it with a pre-made sauce. Then you're diluting the sodium down and making it cheaper. Super easy.
Can't you just make your own sauce?
You can absolutely make your own sauce.
A bit of garlic and...
Yeah, but some people don't have time.
Right, yeah, they don't.
They don't. Yeah, and I absolutely appreciate that. I make pasta sauces, but and I make them in bulk so you can freeze them. But even the passatas, like that passata there, doesn't have any salt in it at all. But that sits next to that one that does. So actually, it's just one thing to look at, because this costs us a lot of money.
This passata has 5 milligrams.
Yeah, and then this one. Yes,
And this one here has 590 milligrams.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Whoa.
It's massive, and this costs the country a lot of money. So the World Health Organization say that about 17% of deaths are attributed to high blood pressure, and 1 in 7 New Zealanders are on medication for high blood pressure, which increases your risk of stroke and heart disease. And we're seeing kids with high blood pressure, and it's not just your fast foods; it's actually a lot of the processed foods that we have. But you can make smart choices by just buying canned tomatoes without salt in them.
Boy, this is... Because I think we're all starting to think a little bit about fats and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But I mean, maybe I'm just revealing a flaw in my own thinking when I go shopping, but I don't think about sodium at all.
No.
And I'm just constantly tossing more salt in.
Yeah, and a lot of people think about fat, like you said, fat and sugar's kind of become a big thing. But the things we also need to think about, salt, fibre. When you're actually looking at what pasta to buy, that's something to consider as well, because a regular white pasta, the problem is with it, people eat too much of it. So it's about 60 to 80 grams is roughly a serving size of pasta. That fills up about a quarter of the plate. So the rest of the plate needs to be vegetables, a little bit of protein. There are some pulse pastas, so things made from black beans, lentils these days. Really helpful for people that are vegetarian or vegan, because a serving of that is equivalent to 4 eggs in terms of the amount of protein that it's got in it.
What am I doing? God, that was...
You're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was doing like hide and seek. Sorry, Steph.
Done.
Right. Is that good?
Yeah, so those pulse pastas are really fantastic, because they actually solve the problem of the fibre and the protein. And if you are gluten-free, the people that don't eat pasta because they can't have gluten or wheat, the buckwheat pastas, the quinoa pastas are higher in fibre, because bowel cancer, is actually an issue that is a problem and kills more people than prostate and breast cancer combined. Yet we don't talk about fibre enough. So high fibre pastas are the way to go. There are some good things on the market, though. This is not about saying there's nothing good. No,
absolutely.
It's about saying just look at what you're buying, and that's what these tips are for.
You're so good, Claire Turnbull. Oh, it's really good. So I'm going to look for fibre and I'm going to look for less salt as a result of you.
And add more veggies. Put some cauliflower in when you're making your mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's going too far, cauliflower in your mac and cheese.
Oh, come on.
What's the line there, Claire Turnbull?
There's like a mix of cauliflower, cheese and mac and cheese.
Or just make it half and half in the same container so you're not contaminating.